back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
We are about to watch Season 8, Episode 2, which I don't even know if it has a title yet. They didn't release the title until, after Episode 1, and I looked a couple days ago, and it wasn't there.
Huh.
Sorry that we didn't get in a midweek episode, guys. We were a little tied up. Spring break. Spring break!
Spring break!
The kids are on spring break, not us, but that made it very difficult to get anything done. But I did want to just check in. Well, maybe we'll do a couple pre-watching predictions here, but a couple corrections and a little bit about the death pool kind of stuff. So I heard from some people this week. I'm surprised. I didn't hear from anybody about this one. Remember, we were talking about the blue-lipped guys in our last episode.
Yes.
Reminiscing.
Right. What were they called?
Well, that's the thing. They were like the Wizards of Karth or the Necromancers of Karth
right.
or something like that. But the dude had a name, and I couldn't remember what it was. I was surprised no one wrote in with this. It is Pyat Pre, which I'm happy to say I did not have to look up. Eventually, it took me like 4 or 5 days, but it just hit me in the middle of work one day. So there's that. But now I did hear from a couple listeners. We did make one mistake. Not sure which one of us off the top of my head, but in the last episode, we were talking about Sam being very distraught, somewhat over the loss of his father,
right?
But more over the loss of Dickon. And we accidentally referred to Dickon as the older brother.
Was he younger?
Yes. Well, so as soon as, so we, a listener named Lexi wrote in, thank you, Lexi, and pointed that out because it's very easy, I think, since Dickon is so stoic and responsible looking and seeming and acting, and Sam, even though he's come a long way, is still kind of a goof. The whole reason that Sam was ever forced to take the black was because he was the heir to, he was the oldest son. He was the heir to the Tarly, fortune and lands and lordship. He had to go because he was not manly enough.
Because he sucked, right.
So Dickon was, in fact, the younger son. Oops.
Huh.
But does that make sense now?
Yep.
Right? Because right off the bat, I'm like, really? Wait.
I understand.
But
that
yes,
makes total sense.
As a matter of fact. Sure is. I guess this wasn't really... Well, so there was some talk about the death pool and some people that we missed, and it turned out to be quite a bit. I did hear from one guy named Christian who was doing something a little bit different with the death pool. But when he wrote in, he mentioned how not many people died except the Umber Boy. And this just made me laugh when I read it. Except the Umber Boy and Sir previously didn't have a hatchet in his face, which is a great name. I had to think about who that might have been, and then I remembered all those guys died that were guarding Yara. A bunch of the Ironborn died, and one of them, there was a squelching noise and awfulness as he took an axe to the face. It was awesome. But he had gone to a site that makes bingo cards, and he and his friends are playing Season 8 Death Bingo.
Please explain.
Well, he took all the names of major characters that are still alive, and then so that you put them into the site, and then the site randomly generates bingo cards. So I was thinking, since we're having some people over again for episode 3, and since episode 3 is probably going to have a lot of action,
we'll play bingo.
We should make some bingo cards. I don't know what the prize will be. We'll think of something.
Oh, we'll get some wine. It'll be a bottle of wine.
Maybe a bottle of Game of Thrones wine. Give it to anyone that manages to score a bingo during... I'm just going to call it the Battle of Winterfell. I don't know.
Do we have to order that from HBO? We better hurry up.
Well, I think they're available in stores.
I haven't seen any.
I've been looking. Bring Game of Thrones wine last week. Let's ask where they got it.
Okay. Probably Bevmo.
Bevmo is what. Yeah, I think that.
Or wine. Total Wine.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Total Wine.
Well, we did see the Johnny Walker White Walker at
Costco.
Yes,
we did. We almost bought that.
Costco had that one, so that was good. So thank you, Christian, for writing in with that. You made me laugh, and also the bingo sounds like kind of a fun idea. We'll give it a shot. Again, I don't think there's going to be a lot of death tonight. But we'll talk about that in a second. So the death pool. There was a lot of errata. I feel terrible, although I can blame Loremaster Kevin because he started this. Shame on you, Loremaster Kevin. But so many people got missed. I think we might have mentioned Yara and Ed last week.
We mentioned them, but they didn't get
Well, we didn't have time to add them to the death pool by the time it was becoming obvious how many people we missed. So there's Yara, and then Ed. By Ed, I mean not Ned Stark, Eddard. I mean Ed from The Wall. Mm-hmm. Ghost.
What?
Well, so is Ghost a character? I mean, I think he is, right?
Yeah,
but we haven't seen Ghost in so long. Someone else was asking me recently, did Ghost die? And I had to think about that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Ghost didn't die.
I wonder what happened to Ghost when John died. Oh, he was there.
Well, he was
Ghost
there. Yeah, he was
That's
guarding
right.
the body. Yeah. So I don't think we've seen Ghost since shortly after all that happened. I feel like
John saw him off in the distance once and then just kind of was like, all right, he's going his own way.
I think that did happen once, but I think that was many seasons ago. I think that might have been John's first foray north of the Wall.
Oh, I wish it would happen again.
Well, it would be nice to see Ghost, wouldn't it? That seems like a little bit of a loose end since the direwolves were such a big part of the early seasons.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was John was doing some stuff. And like, remember in Wizard of Oz, like Toto would just like run off. And then later on you'd see Toto again, just kind of showing up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like that.
I agree. But I think that Ghost and Summer? No, Summer's dead. Ghost and...
There's only 2 left. Who's the other one? Because it's on my list here. So I'm cheating, but...
I want to say Narnia.
You're right there. Nymeria, yeah.
Nymeria.
Close enough. Given how little we've seen of Nymeria, I don't think anyone could blame you.
So maybe they're off starting wolf packs, these half wolf, half dire wolf packs. Mm-hmm. And then they're all going to have like a freaking wolf army come kill.
Well, Nymeria already has that started. If Ghost is making another.
Yeah.
What if it's all albino wolves? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
All you would see was eyes coming out there in the winter.
Those red eyes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Nymeria was on my list as well. Dario. We didn't talk about him. We probably won't see him again unless I think this was one of my predictions, but more of the oddball weirdo predictions of like he's going to show up in the Golden Company and infiltrate the ranks and make them turn on Cersei. But that's probably not going to happen, right?
Probably not.
Although he does want to see Danny.
Although he could come with the Golden Cloak and then just go kill Cersei himself.
He could,
but that won't happen because it's not dramatic enough.
I feel bad about this one because it should have been obvious to be on our list. Qyburn.
Qyburn needs to die.
Little Sam. We'd like to think he'd be immune because he would kill a little boy.
Not. He doesn't make the list. No more kids.
No more kids dying? Okay. Robin, is he a kid?
Robin Aaron?
Yeah. He wasn't on our death pool.
I don't know if we're going to see him. I think he should be dead.
Someone did predict that not only would we see him, that he would still marry Sansa before all this is over. That'd be something.
Milk drinker.
If he turns out to be all manly in the... What? I know why you said that because of Lysa Arryn, but I feel like that's also an insult from some other pop culture. Maybe
it is.
Is it Fallout? Is it Skyrim?
No. This has been a thing for a long time.
It the Gunslinger? I don't know. Something.
It's, we'll find out.
All right. Well, if you know, tell us. Edmure Tully, not on our list. We probably won't see him. I figured we would have seen him when King's Landing was under siege, but we didn't.
Yeah, kind of weird.
And then Elaria Sand, he's still kind of a loose end. She is still kind of a loose end.
If you want to talk about loose ends, the nun.
Right. Well, yeah, you're right. You know, if we're going to do everything here on this bingo card, I'm putting the Shame Lady in. I know we used to know her name. It's been a long time since we've talked about her in that regard. I'll look it up.
And what about all of Dany's old kingdoms? I mean, you got Dario supposedly there running one of them.
But what other major characters from there do
I'm just saying.
Know? Well, there's all sorts of people, but Dario was like a major player. It's
probably fallen into ruin by now.
Probably.
Back to slavery.
Probably. Well, it was Dario's job to stop that from happening. So if he left to join the Golden Company, then yeah, they're probably all fucked. And then the last little tidbit was Ed Sheeran, who apparently we learned his fate last week, and I don't think we noticed.
We did?
Well, so it was that sexposition scene with Bronn and the 3 ladies of the night.
Okay.
And they kept talking and talking while he was trying to get a boner.
Right?
That?
Yes.
Well, one of the people they were talking about was a ginger boy named Eddie, and how he got his face burned off and he doesn't have eyelids anymore.
Oh.
I didn't think about that at the time. Obviously, some people did because it was all over the internet. That's so mean. I mean, he was not well received, but they invited him onto the show. I think he should not have gotten such a little.
But you know what?
What?
I mean, he got even more popular because of it, I think. Or at least more well known.
Ed Sheeran in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look.
Any publicity.
No, I think.
Any publicity.
Yeah, for him, any publicity is good publicity. And maybe to that extent, having his face burned off is good publicity too, I guess.
Yeah,
but
he made a joke of it. And so did they.
I wonder if they asked him. That's what I would want to know. Did they give him some warning like, hey, we just wanted to have a little joke with your character and have his face burned off and his eyelids gone?
I don't know. I feel like even if he didn't know, he would just laugh anyway.
I hope so.
I think that he's probably got that kind of relationship.
It just seemed like it was kind of rude on their part because it felt like they're kind of kicking him when he was already down. But maybe if he was in on the joke. Everyone was making fun of him for being on the show.
I don't think that it hurt his... I feel like he probably just laughed because he's got hundreds of thousands of women.
Only hundreds of thousands?
I don't know how many.
Are you one of them?
No.
No?
No. I love his music, sure, but I don't.
You don't think he's a cutie pie?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
All right. That's enough for now. I do want to go into some other listener predictions, but not right now. I at least want Lore Master Kevin to be around for it since... despite the many omissions, he helped start this whole death pool idea. So we'll talk about that hopefully middle of this week. But we should go watch episode 6 now. Any thoughts before we go? Did I say episode 6? I meant episode 2. Another correction.
Do we think people are dying this episode?
They are. I think that 50-second preview insinuates that Arya might kill someone. They had like voiceover of her talking about killing someone. Then they cut to a picture of her with a bow and arrow. And she shoots a shot. But I don't know who that would be. Hopefully not Jaime. He can't die now, right?
No, he's in it for the long haul.
He's going to be in trouble. I mean, showing up in Winterfell is not going to be his best day ever.
No.
But they wouldn't kill him.
I think they're going to lock him up. Maybe.
He's been
locked
locked
him
up.
By them
Except they'll actually do it. The preview showed us, Jaime was not having a good time. Cersei and Sansa were still bickering, at least partially over trusting Cersei. Cersei? Damn it. What is wrong with me? Daenerys and Sansa were bickering.
Sort of.
So it's because I'm getting
Wait,
Cersei.
Yes, you're right.
They were bickering about Cersei. And then we saw Tormund does, in fact, make it to Winterfell before the Army of the Dead.
Oh, he and Brienne are going to make love. They're going to have giant babies.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. But do you think they'll have time to
Sure.
Some people do.
One night.
When they think the world's about to end.
Exactly.
That could be like he's the last man on Earth kind of thing. Except Jaime's also in Winterfell at the same time.
Ooh, maybe she'll do it twice.
What's Bran going to do? Maybe she'll do it with Tormund while thinking of Jaime.
Well, that took some kind of romance off of it.
It's the last night on Earth. There's no time for romance. You just got to get your rocks off.
No.
Right?
I don't know. No.
Come on.
No.
Brienne needs this.
I mean, yes, before when I was thinking of it and it was going to be all magical with the Bagiants.
The Bagiants?
Now you ruined it.
I'm sorry.
You sullied it.
So wait, in your head, in the middle of all this, we were going to have like sweet music, like soulful music come in and the fireplace and like a bearskin rug.
Something like that.
Tormund would probably really enjoy making love on a bearskin rug.
They would at least kiss.
Well, okay. That's allowed. They can kiss. We'll let them kiss. What?
Well, I was going to say he might forcefully kiss her, but then that's bad.
Generally speaking, my assumption is that this is still going to be a very quiet episode in terms of violence. Just like last week, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot happen. It's all
set
looming.
Up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next week's going to be bad.
It looks dark. This next, I like tonight's episode. Looks dark.
Yeah, dark. But I think that's because
last one was
they only have till morning to get ready for battle.
Last one was so lighthearted. It was kind of funny.
Oh, I thought you meant like visually dark.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Both.
Yeah, last episode was cute for the most part. This episode's not going to be very cute. All right. Well, we should go watch it.
Okay.
Let's do it. We'll be right back in the blink of an eye. We're going to go watch this episode and come back.
God damn this show.
What? What, babe? What?
Oh, it's so maddening. I just wish we had it all to watch right now.
So we're back. We just watched whatever the hell episode 2 is called. Hopefully I'll figure it out by the time I post this this podcast.
It was a good one. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it was a hell of a drama. No deaths, right? Not a single death?
Not that I recall.
No, not a single death. No violence really at all.
That was nice. Nice break.
Just a little bit of Arya showing off.
Yes.
That was the closest we came.
Oh my God. Arya totally went the opposite way I thought she was going to go.
Who said she and Gendry going to hook up?
You did.
I could smell it on her.
Ew.
She wanted him. What?
God. She's not old enough to be doing that kind of thing.
You know, in real life, I think Maisie Williams is 22 or something like that. She's not a kid.
She is to me because she's Arya.
And she's very little. So that's not helping.
So that was, okay. She and Gendry met back
when she was a little girl.
When she was a little girl. So
she was kind of a little boy.
Was she like 12 or something?
She was Aerie. Well, they never gave ages for anyone, I don't think, in the show. But she was probably, supposed to be like 10, 11. No more than 12, I'm sure. But yeah.
All right. Well, so she's like maybe 20 now. I guess it's all right. I
mean, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's just that I think he was a teenager, like at the end of his teenage years.
Right. He was like 17.
He's definitely got a few years on her.
He was on the edge of 17.
Just like a wild-winged dove. Dove? Wait.
Dove.
White-winged dove? I don't even know. Fuck.
White wing.
Why did I say wild? Maybe wild.
Sounds good too.
That's in my head.
You can't really hear what she's actually saying. So,
yeah.
I mean. Okay.
So was that the highlight of the episode for you? Should we?
The highlight?
Was it? Because
no, it was also good. I loved when Jamie met with Bran. That was emotional.
Mm-hmm. A lot of emotional. Well, and we should have seen that coming. We kind of did. I mean, we knew this is it. This is. Everyone's got it. What did I say? I said people are going to want to have that last night before the end of the world fuck, right?
Yeah,
Didn't I say that?
You did say that. So, well, do you think that they're going to have more before the dead gets there?
No, the dead are there.
Was that the bell was ringing, right?
The horn, the
I couldn't remember if that was in the pre show.
We watched the preview for next week, knowing that there wouldn't be much to see, and there wasn't.
Except the dead were there.
The dead were there. Yeah, but we saw the hoof. We saw the line of
the White Walkers or whatever they're called.
A long line.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So decompressing. Oh my gosh.
I took a lot of notes.
Brienne
want me to take
Jamie
you back through it?
And Tormund and Brienne and
Brienne. She's popular. This was her episode, right?
Yes, she got knighted. That was so emotional. She smiled for the very first time in her whole life.
She could have gotten naked
right
in
then.
The same night as being knighted.
Yeah, with Tormund.
Yeah, he wanted it. He was thinking the same thing I was thinking.
So
at least he and I have something in common.
I'm wondering if Jamie has any kind of romantic feelings for her. What do you think?
Oh, I think there's a part of him that does, but he's just too fucked up to
even
understand it, to do anything about it, to really, truly let his feelings out.
I think he loves her like a really, really good friend.
Oh yeah, there's definite love there. But in terms of like romantic love,
right,
it could be there.
I don't think so.
But I don't think he understands how to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How do you fuck anybody that's not your sister?
Yeah, it's going to be awkward. That's written on our family crest.
Okay, so you tell me what you thought.
It was extremely compelling drama and a great lead up to the shit that's about to go down. Look, my thing is like, I spent a lot of this episode kind of watching them prep the defenses and talk about how they're all going to die. And part of me is wondering just how does the shit go down? Because it seems like they're going to go out of the walls of Winterfell and meet the undead head on, which seems like a bad choice.
Well, is it though? Because otherwise you're trapped in there with the horde of zombies coming over your walls.
Well,
they can climb up walls. We've seen it.
Have we seen them?
They climbed the ice wall.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
No, not the ice wall.
That was the wildlings.
At Hardhome. I guess, did they?
I feel like
they
I've seen
were
them
like breaking
skitter up
through
walls.
the wall. Maybe they climbed. Then they started like jumping off a cliff to get in. They'd probably find a way in.
Yeah, I think so.
But maybe, I guess it would be nice to slow them down because you could rain arrows down on the army. Since you have dragonglass arrows, you could rain the dragonglass arrows.
Or you could just bring the dragons out right away and light the whole
But the
thing on
Night King
fire.
has his dragon too.
Where is
So
it? It's
where
not here
is
right
it?
now.
And how is that going to go?
Get one dragon guarding the air, and then you get the other dragon attacking the ground.
Well, and guarding Bran. Someone has to guard Bran.
Because he's all the memories.
What a dope.
He's the memory now. He's
Well, there's magic to it.
He's like a thumb drive.
Oh no. Did you know what that just made me think of?
No.
Oh shit, what's that movie called? Scarlett Johansson plays a supercharged just ass kicker.
Oh, and the one where they like shot her up with something and then she turned into this superhero?
Yes. She had like drugs sewn into her belly. It was really unpleasant, actually.
I remember the name of that. Could it have been Scarlet? No. I'm sure you'll find out.
Well, I'm gonna look it up, but I'm sure I can find her. Oh yeah, but that movie involved a flash drive. Do you remember that movie much?
A little bit.
I mean, now that you're talking about Bran in terms of being a human flash drive, it's just now I feel like there's some kind of unintended connection. So if you haven't seen it, go watch Lucy.
Lucy, that's right. Not Scarlet, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, she's Scarlet.
Just thought it was convenient.
Yeah. Go watch Lucy now and just consider her to be Bran Stark, I guess. That's where my head is. So thanks for that.
Really
that's
not
a weird
though.
vision. Okay, wait, let's go through this. I think there's not much that needs to be done in anything but chronological order, except maybe all the scenes at the fireplace.
Okay.
I think we could just put all that at once because everything happens at Winterfell again. Man, last episode wasn't 100% Winterfell, but it was close.
Yeah, we didn't see any of King's Landing.
Yeah.
At all.
Even though it was in the credits. So
Cersei
I thought we would
wasn't
get a scene.
That's right.
Yeah. So speaking of the credits, I do love how the credits are continuing to evolve. Last time we saw like little squares of snow flipping over and turning to ice on the way to Last Hearth. Mm-hmm. And this time I was watching really closely because I missed stuff in the first episode. And Last Hearth was now there and surrounded by ice. And then, we started moving towards Winterfell, which was not surrounded by ice yet, but it was moving.
Right. It's about to be surrounded.
Yeah. And we did see King's Landing in the credits, but yeah, nothing there. Well, I guess they
talked about it maybe.
They needed to pad it out. Yeah, they did. That's true.
Yeah, we didn't see Cersei, right? No. Not at all. Right?
Nope, not a scrap.
Okay.
And I don't think we'll see her next episode either. So we did, and I'll give them credit. We got right into it. There was no like Jaime sort of struts around Winterfell and people are like, who's that? Yeah, we didn't have to see any of that. We knew it was just, he's going to be brought before the queen. Sure enough. Dany was not happy to see Jaime Lannister. But he tells her all about Cersei's not coming through. She has the Golden Company, 20,000 soldiers, no elephants.
Thank goodness they didn't wait for her.
Yeah. Well, not that they have a choice at this point, but yeah. But Jaime's here to fight for the living. He's just putting it all past. And that was his promise, I guess. Maybe that was his point. His promise was he was going to fight for the living. So he had to leave Cersei behind. Sansa talks about the attack on Ned in the streets of King's Landing. Mm-hmm. She is not
She doesn't want him there, right?
Yeah.
And she is talking up for herself right next to Danny, and Danny does not like it. She's just like dagger eyes at her.
Danny liked it a little bit.
No, she didn't.
I think.
Oh, no.
Well,
she did not like Sansa
the end of that
speaking
meeting
up.
was a little. Well, because I thought it was good because Sansa was agreeing with Daenerys, but then at the end of the meeting, Danny just like
right. Well, it's when Brienne told her you can trust him.
Well, yeah, that made
he's honorable.
Difference.
Blah blah blah.
That was the first big feels of the episode, wasn't it? I mean, we got right into it. Brienne steps up and is like, Jaime is an honorable man, and he saved me from being raped and lost his hand for it, and gave me the weapons and the armor, and
right, but. She's not letting Danny like take control of the room, and that pisses her off.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
She was like, "What? Who do you think you are? I'm the one that's talking here." And then Sansa was just she talked the whole thing.
Well, it is Sansa's home. I mean, I think she gets
of course,
a voice.
but she's the queen.
Yeah. Well, they had a moment themselves, which we'll get to.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting that Jaime. I don't know if it's good or bad or speaks to his character in a good or bad way, but he did not want to apologize for his past.
Well, he was a different person.
Yeah, he was. But he also said our families were at war, which was never really.
He was being loyal to his family, and that's how his family trained him.
Yeah.
You know, when you're brought up by Tywin Lannister, you're going to be fucked up no matter what.
Well, right. But I would just think a lot of people would be like, yeah, I did these awful things because my family was awful. And I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to not be awful anymore.
Oh, that's kind of what he meant. He hasn't
come to that point yet. At least yeah.
He said he wasn't going to apologize because he knows it isn't really going to make a difference.
And now he's doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah. Still, he helped set a lot of bad things in motion. I did like how moved. I had to take special note of this when Brienne was talking him up. Like the expression, on Jaime's face, or kudos to Nikolai Coster-Waldau. It was really good, really believable that
he's a great
felt
actor,
something deep inside.
He got all like, really? He got that look. He's like, me? Really? You think that of me? He's cute.
Yeah. And then it was all icy at the end. They all agreed to let him stay. But then as soon as the meeting was over, Sansa storms off, and then Jon's like, "Milady," or "Your Grace," or something like that. And he wanders off, and she's just like, "What the fuck? What's everybody doing?" She's mad because she had no control over that meeting whatsoever. And she's supposed to be the one with control. She's got control issues. Oh, big time. Yeah. And Tyrion, he took a drubbing. Yeah. Because he was trying to vouch for Jaime. He's always taking it, though. For Cersei. Yeah. She's all pissed off at him, but he's actually making the right decisions, even though it doesn't turn out the way she wants. He's doing his best. He really is. Mm-hmm. And he's still the smartest guy in the room. Yay. But yeah, he almost got fired. Mm-hmm. We had a scene in the smithy. Gendry's working away. Arya's watching him. They talk about how bad the undead are. Well, she didn't put the moves on him yet. No, but she was watching him and doing his thing. He's all shirtless and sweaty, right? Dirty, grimy. I've seen enough like 80s sort of hair metal music videos to know that sweaty men working on a forge is probably really sexy. It must be. Even though they're filthy. Right. And probably stinky. Right. It's sexy. Well, that's what men think. That's what men think women find sexy? Yes. What do women actually find sexy? Please say some, little around the middle. Right now? Give me some of that. Let's just not. No? Let's finish our talk. All right. You're going to break my heart, aren't you? No, I'm not. I just can't. I'm in Game of Thrones mode. Okay. They talked about fighting the undead. He doesn't want her to fight. She starts quizzing him on how bad the undead were. Uh-huh. And right. Eventually the best he could do is they're like death. It's like fighting death, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Mm-hmm. And, she throws the daggers. I know death. Yeah. 3 obsidian daggers, all perfectly on target. Yeah. She's so cool. And he was so impressed. She's so cool. That was probably good that she did that, because I think when you see someone do that, you can't think of them as a little girl anymore. I hope so. Well, I'm just in terms of what happens later. Okay. Because he knew her as
She's
a
so
little girl / boy.
And she has barely changed at all. That's probably not true.
No, that's not true. If you go back and look at the pictures,
right, I know, they all looked very
there's
young.
significant differences. Let's see. We had Jamie talking to Bran, though. That was the one thing he apologized for, was pushing Bran out the window. And that was the apology that no one needed, because Bran's just like, whatever, I'm not Bran anymore anyway.
Right. I wonder if anybody's ever going to find out that it was Jamie.
Well, that's what they asked. Well, okay. So Bran says he's something else. I'm not Bran. I'm something else.
Bran's not here anymore.
If you want to leave a message for Bran, I will beep. Beep. But Jamie questioned him about how he didn't snitch. So that was the thing, is, why didn't you snitch on me? I was such an asshole. Mm-hmm. And he said,
Bran needs him.
And it wasn't about like, I didn't want to snitch. I feel like Bran is very zen about all of it. So maybe he's just like, who cares? I mean, he called him my old friend in the last episode, right? He's waiting for an old friend.
Oh.
Yeah. So I felt like it wouldn't be, the answer Bran gave was surprising, which was, I didn't snitch on you because I know that they need you and we can't.
Right.
It wasn't just like, the past is the past, bro. Fist bump. I was expecting more of that, but
yeah. I mean, he's not Bran anymore, so he can have no emotion in it. Nothing really matters.
Right. I feel nothing. It used to be I just didn't feel from below my waist because of you, but now I don't feel anything anywhere at all. At all. At all. It's my accent. You like it?
I know. You're Cockney.
Yep. I'm trying. Let's see. Then Jamie goes off to find Tyrion. They think people will come around to Dany's rule. Tyrion questions whether or not the pregnancy's real. Jamie sticks up for Cersei on that one.
Saying it's real.
It's definitely real.
How does he
the
know?
fuck?
But she's drinking. We saw her drinking in the last episode.
I know. They probably did that on purpose, knowing that, like, A, you could have a glass of wine while pregnant and not a big deal, but B, that we'd be looking for it because they're just fucking with us.
Yeah, maybe she's past her first trimester. I think we talked about this.
It did get me thinking one thing, though. Cersei pretended that all of her children belonged to Robert Baratheon. Mm-hmm. That's sort of one of her trademark maneuvers. If she is pregnant with Jaime's baby, she's not showing yet. What? You see where I'm going with this?
I know where you're going.
Take it and run with it.
You think that she could be pregnant by Euron?
No, I think that she could tell Euron that she's pregnant by Euron. Because that would give her... What would make Euron happier than that? He wants to put a prince in her belly. That is maybe her ultimate insurance policy, that he does anything in his power to keep her alive.
You
almost had like a Yoda thing there. That really brought something deep out of you.
Yes.
But it's not that you, because it's not actually his gross, yucky baby.
Well, but it's her brother's.
Well, yeah, but we've been down that road enough times.
Both roads
2 out of 3 of those incest babies were actually decent people. Right? Tom and Marcella.
Okay.
Just one was a horrible monster.
Right. One was a horrible monster. One was really not very smart. And Marcella seemed to have the most going for her, except she was, I don't know, a teenager.
Well, that's difficult for anybody.
Right.
If you don't have a teenager at home, believe us, it's difficult for anybody. Let's see what else I have. I did take a note that as they were standing on top of the wall, the Winterfell's wall, staring down, that there were obsidian chunks that had been, I guess, glued
like
to
spikes.
The wall. Yeah, spikes coming out of the wall made out of the...
Well, I mean, those are only going to last as many spikes as like, there's like 10 spikes in each thing.
You think a spike breaks off every time a zombie runs into one?
Well, the zombies are just going to be it'll be covered by zombies.
Oh, if they get stuck to the spikes.
Right, and then they'll just be like they'll make like a little slide, slide down.
I don't think you've seen this movie, because I feel like this came up recently, but World War Z with Brad Pitt had these super fast zombies, and they would just, they almost worked together at times.
I don't think I did see that, no.
there was this scene outside of, I guess, Jerusalem. So I think it was Jerusalem. So it's walled in, and there were all these people. It was Jews and Muslims. Like Jerusalem was the last city that hadn't fallen, or something like that, to these ridiculous, super fast zombie hordes. And all these Jews and Muslims were singing peace songs because they had finally come together in the face of the apocalypse. And it like riled up the zombies and made them all crazy. It's just so much noise.
Okay.
And they started just slamming themselves into the wall. But as they were doing that, other zombies were like running up them as they collapsed. And so they just started forming this huge zombie tower that like, it was like a tidal wave of zombies that came up and over the wall.
That's what I would do if I was a zombie.
It was not a good movie, but that was it's a hell of a special effect. I'll give it that. So something like that could happen, in which case the obsidian spikes probably wouldn't do a lot of good. You're right. Maybe it's in case a dragon like swoops really close over the wall, cuts his little toe.
Maybe it's decorative.
We need to establish how much damage these zombies have to take from obsidian to die.
I think it's just one touch.
If that's it, that really is going to make that battle a lot easier.
They should just like put a whole bunch in some slingshots and...
Yeah, that's what the children are for, right? Give them all slings, make little Dennis the Menaces.
Yes.
Pew, pew, pew. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or what?
Nothing.
Well, we saw a catapult getting ready, so maybe instead of loading
big
that,
chunks.
I don't know, just like shrapnel, just lots of little chunks of obsidian, just shower the field with it. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. What would you do if you were in this world and you knew the dead were coming right now? Would you go out and fight, or would you just run? I think I might run the other way, like go north of the dead.
Wall?
North of
like
the
go
dead.
to the other side of the wall because the dead already gave that up.
Right.
You could make a whole new life there.
You make a whole
It'd be
new wall.
so cold though. I think that's the thing. If I was going to be driven to fight, it would probably be because I'm just going to freeze to death. So I might. Well,
maybe the cold leaves.
We got to try to stop it.
If the Night King leaves that area,
based on the map, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But, we'll see. It's possible. I mean, how magical is this motherfucker? Does it really last forever and through the whole world? I don't know.
I think it does.
I don't know. What else was there? The obsidian spikes on the wall. Let's see. Oh, and Jamie was staring at Brienne, and then he goes down to talk to her. And what do we see there? Brienne is not training anybody. She's watching Podrick.
Mm-hmm. And he's a badass.
He's gotten there. Yeah.
Yeah. He's training other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other soldiers. He's the guy showing them how to be a fighter now.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Almost
He's
all
a
of that
lover
happened
and a
off
fighter.
screen. Almost all of that happened off screen, like last season when we saw him training. He still looked like a dope, but he was fighting Brienne, so maybe he was actually pretty good, and then we just couldn't see that because Brienne's so much better. But he still looked kind of like a dope.
He's been training all along, so I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's finally there. He broke through whatever that training glass ceiling was, and he's tough now.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Let's see. Oh, and then Jamie and Brienne, she sort of asked, what's your fucking deal, dude?
Right. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Why haven't you insulted me yet? What's happening? I thought the why haven't you insulted me yet question was a little unfair. I mean, it's a pretty serious time.
Yeah.
Can't
I think
Jamie
she's
just be serious.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's remembering their time when he was her captor, and yeah, he was insulting her all the time, but then he kind of saved her life, and or at least her virtue.
She was his captor.
He was hers. She was the captor. He was captive to her.
Right.
Right?
Is that what you said the first time?
I said, I don't know.
But yeah, of course he was an asshole then. But even, I guess at the end he would still...
They didn't really get to talk much.
He would still joke about her height and awkwardness and stuff. A little bit. But they were friends at that point.
In King's Landing, they talked.
Yeah.
In the bath together.
Oh, there was that too. That was, that wasn't at King's Landing, but
No?
that was, no. That was right before she was about to be taken to King's Landing. That was right before that happened. He had lost his hand already. He was feeling miserable.
Okay.
But anyway, so he was being nice and serious, but he said he wanted to fight under her, to serve under Brienne, because he's not the fighter he used to be, which we all knew.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we had a scene with Jorah and Dany. He was heartbroken about Tyrion becoming Hand, but he thinks it was the right choice.
Right. Dany's getting more and more pissed off at him.
At
Tyrion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll still listen to Jorah, which is nice. It softened her a little bit. He's learning from his mistakes. He's only human. Give him a chance. He's the smartest man in the room. Yeah. No, it was a short scene. Not a lot to that. I think, let's see. Then Dany went off to go talk to Sansa.
Oh, and that was uncomfortable.
It was almost nice. It got uncomfortable.
The whole time that she was smiling was just a fake smile. The whole time.
Which one?
Dany.
Okay. She was trying.
She was trying. She was trying to manipulate Sansa.
Oh, I thought she was just trying to make nice and try to make things a little bit better.
Well, I think she was trying to get Sansa on her side, and that smile was fake as fuck.
Can we talk about Sansa's outfit for a second?
Yes.
I don't know if she was wearing it in the first scene, but then I had to pause it and be like, wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool outfit.
Layered leather.
Yeah. It really did look like armor, except it was form-fitting and a dress.
I wonder how hard that is to get on. It's really tight.
They probably
sew it on her?
Well, yeah, because I think, Sansa always has something on her shoulders and stuff. So there's probably places there where they can latch it all together and make it stick. But yeah, it's probably not, even then, it's probably not easy to get on. But it sure did look awesome.
It sure did. It's beautiful.
I would encourage you to make that dress for your next Sansa costume. Do it. Do it. All right. She still had the necklace.
I know.
You have that necklace.
I do. I made that necklace.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they talk about families are complicated. Dany's wondering why they are at odds. And Sansa's thing is that men are easily manipulated. Is that true?
I don't know. I've never tried to manipulate anybody. Really? No, I don't know. Is it true? You are a man.
Well, probably. I mean...
With sex?
With sex.
Okay.
I think men are easily manipulated. Well, that's what she was getting at. Men are easily manipulated with sex. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I understand now.
But then Dany hits back with well, I'm here helping Jon and I've given up my whole life's work to do it. It's because maybe he's manipulating me with his awesome cock.
Does she really love him? She says she loves him. I'm here because I love your brother.
She barely knows him.
I know.
Everybody's
fallen in love first sight just because they're good looking.
I did read this news article once about this guy, probably in his 20s, maybe early 30s, who had, I don't know, it was a long time ago, a romantic sexual relationship with his grandmother. And
what the fuck?
But when he met her, they didn't know that they were related. They just felt this super strong connection with each other and began a many years long hot and heavy relationship. Eventually they found out that they were related, but I guess maybe legally speaking, no one gave a shit because it's not like they could have kids. And they've just told the world to deal with it because they love each other.
Wow.
So Jon and Dany could have something like that going on where they met, and even though they barely knew each other, they felt this really strong connection. They don't look anything alike, right? He's all dark and starky.
Right.
And she's all bright and Targaryen.
But they got that Targaryen love lust going on.
They've got that thing in common. The dragons could smell it. Maybe they could smell it.
I'm sure the dragons can smell it, yes. I can't even get over the grandma and the kid.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to tear your world apart. Worse things have happened.
Let's get back on track.
They were happy. Well, no, okay. So, but they barely knew each other. They were fighting. They did not like each other, but they fell in love pretty quickly anyway.
Yeah. Passion, fiery. I mean, okay. You can fall in love with somebody because you think they're somebody, but then eventually you learn that they're not really that person that you thought they were.
Uh-huh.
And then you don't love that person.
Well, that
because that's not who you fell in love with.
That might be what's happening right now, as John has suddenly iced her out.
Okay, now what do you think? I think she might turn against him.
Maybe we need to make some predictions here. Let's do that at the very end.
Okay.
She might. I'm leaning towards no, but we'll talk it out. We'll talk it out. So Danny turns cold to Sansa when she asks, "Will the North be free after all this is over?" Obviously, without saying it, Danny's answer is no.
Right.
But then Theon shows up and stops their
Theon.
conversation from turning ugly. Theon's there to fight for Winterfell. That's that.
I just don't understand why I remember Theon is the one that actually did free her. Helped her.
Yes. First, he was a terrible person for not taking
telling he told remember Brienne could have saved her, and he told what's his nut?
Ramsay. About the candle thing.
Yeah. Okay, but then he eventually did save her by taking her out the same way Ramsay took him the first time, remember?
Well, they jumped over a wall.
Oh, I thought they went through the tunnel.
No, they jumped out the wall.
All right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, you're thinking of...
I'm thinking of the tunnel that Ramsay took Theon to, but
Ramsay
that was...
took Theon out and then back into.
Yeah, that was not...
That was quite a day. But yeah, okay. But Theon, if he had tried anything, like could have stopped the wedding night rape. Not to mention any other number of rapes where he could have slit Ramsay's throat more than once, giving him a shave. There's all sorts of things he could have done, but he was broken and couldn't figure out what was real and what wasn't.
He couldn't function, right?
Yeah. So
Poor
then
Reek.
he finally saved her, and then I think saved her again, didn't he? I mean, didn't
he saved her a
Theon
couple
get
times.
recaptured during their escape? And then,
right. He gave himself up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and then
right.
Brienne saved him. But Theon was ready to go back to Winterfell and suffer the consequences if it meant Sansa could go free. So he did do some things right eventually.
Right. And then he met Yara and...
Right. And now he's healing.
Yeah.
He's
back.
He talked without twitching.
Yeah.
That whole time, I think, which he wasn't doing last season. He was still twitching last season.
Right.
So
He's
now
been brave.
His journey back to Winterfell must have started to heal his mind in new ways. And he got a hug out of it. Did that choke you up at all?
Not really, because I can't stand Reek. And he looks like he always smells bad.
Well, doesn't almost everybody?
Probably.
I mean, even John at his cleanest. Now, we've heard the interviews, like with Stephen Colbert. We know he smells bad. Yeah.
No, I never heard that.
He said it. We did it on the episode.
His
costume
smells
terrible.
Bad.
Yeah.
Right, not him.
Well, if you're wearing 10, 20 pounds of fur that reek, aren't you going to then reek? Come on. He smells bad.
It's different.
It's not forever.
It's a different
kind of reek.
Yes.
Reek really reeks.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
It's different.
All right. He gets a hug. We saw Gilly, who we did not know had made the journey. I don't think we had any indication of that before.
Oh, I assumed she was coming. Yes.
I actually thought he left her
we saw them on a
behind.
wagon or something. Didn't we?
We saw Sam get out of town. I don't think we saw Gilly with him last season. I thought he left her behind so that she'd be safe. I feel like
it's going to take some
kind of
research.
Done the wrong thing here.
Well, I mean, he may never see her again. And I'm sure she was like, no, I'm not staying here. I may never see you again. I'm coming with.
Maybe. But the Citadel was safer.
Safe.
Definitely safer than being as close to the undead army as you possibly could be.
I just go take a vacation on the beach and you just go do your thing. That's what she should have done.
That's right. And maybe on the other side of the beach on an island where she'd really be safe. That's what he should have done.
Get in a boat.
Send her across water.
Mm-hmm.
But she's there. And Davos was feeding people in the food line and giving a little pep talk here and there because that's what he does. And then we saw a little girl with a scarred face asking if she could help fight.
Shireen.
It was a little heavy-handed.
A little bit. It looked a lot like her.
Yeah. And she wanted to help fight. So I wonder if we'll see her again.
I'm sure she'll be in the crypts.
We'll see her because there's no way the undead, at least a couple, don't make it to the crypts, right? Someone.
Well, I think the people in the crypts are actually going to rise.
Rise? And fight?
Yes.
Well, they'll have to if the dead get in there.
No. They're going to be dead. And they're going to be joining the Night's King.
The crypt. Oh.
Yeah, the people that are dead down there.
So what I was talking... Okay, so we know the women and children are going to hide in the Stark family crypts.
Right.
But you're saying...
Those people in the crypts are going to be dead because...
That wasn't... Didn't Kevin say that was going to happen? And I said no?
I think he did.
Sure. All right. Well, we'll see. But then, yes, okay, so if the dead in the crypts do rise up, which I don't think will happen, but if they do, she'll be there to save everybody.
Or she'll just die. And it'll be sad.
No, she's going to be a badass. She can't kill Shireen twice. Come on. that would be just so mean. Because that's totally Shireen. And then Ed and Tormund and Beric, they all arrive. They tell Jon about the Umbers. Tormund asks about Brienne.
Is the tall, what did he say?
I think is the tall one still here? Or tall woman or something like that. And then they tell him that battle's going to be happening before sunrise. They do not have much time.
How did they get there in front of the dead?
Horses.
They went around. That seems like it's a longer...
Horses. The undead army typically only walks.
That's true.
Which itself is a little weird since we know that they don't get tired.
And they go crazy.
Seen them run.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Hard Home, they were nuts.
It's a real horror movie, Jason, Friday the 13th,
Well, those are the newer ones.
What?
The ones that can go crazy.
The newer zombies?
The newer ones, yeah. Until they're like missing most of their muscle, then they walk.
Well, we'll see how they behave in the battle if the whole army can run all of a sudden.
Yeah, and that crazy one that they took to King's Landing.
Right, that guy
to
was
the dragon.
running.
He was crazy.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. What the heck?
Maybe there's something we don't know about the magic. Maybe they do need to conserve their energy just a bit. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, they got horses and rode around.
The Night's King can see through their eyes.
I don't know if that's confirmed.
Like, I'm wondering what did he have a connection to that one they took to King's Landing? I think he did, didn't they?
Well, maybe. We don't have any way to know that, but you might be right. We know that they can signal each other by screaming, and that scream is like magically delicious.
Yeah.
And it gets them all riled up. So I would say there's as good of a chance as any that much like Bran can see through the eyes of animals, the Night King can probably see through the eyes of his undead, in which case he would know a bunch. I guess not everything, since a lot of lies were told during that meeting.
True.
But he would know a lot.
Mm-hmm. He would know a lot.
The one thing that might catch him up there is that zombie was on the other side of the wall when the wall was still standing. So maybe the Night King couldn't see through it yet.
I wonder if he knows there are more dragons. Oh, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
Did all three of them go? Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. All three of them were there. One of them died.
All right.
They got out with two. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want to make sure I know where everybody stands.
Yep. That's important. A lot of shit's about to happen. So the battle's before sunrise. They have a little war room conference meeting. And that's when we find out, at least assuming Bran's right, that the Night King is coming to Winterfell because Bran's there. That's what's driving him in this particular direction.
To erase his memory.
Okay.
To erase history.
The three-eyed raven is the memory of this world. So, to get the eternal night that the Night King wants, he has to destroy the three-eyed raven because that will destroy all of history.
I guess.
People's memory of history.
I'm not.
Well, Sam said it better, I think. I think Sam said it better than Bran did, which was, if I want to erase all traces of men, I would start with you.
Why
Well, part of it's because Bran knows everything and can see all of history, but I think part of it is also because there's magic.
Why does he need history to be erased? Why does it just kill everybody?
Well, he will. He'll get there.
I just don't understand the link. What does it matter if Bran has history? He could just come and kill everybody anyway.
I don't know. I'm trying here.
All right, I'm sorry.
If anyone has a theory on that, tell us what your theory is. Reach out to us. We'll give our contact info at the end. So Bran intends to be bait. He's going to hang out in the Godswood next to the
by
weeping
himself,
tree.
right? Well, actually with
Theon and the Ironborn.
Weird.
Really weird choice.
Maybe Theon's possessed
By
the Night's King. Or
to do what?
Pyat Pri. I don't know.
Oh, it's not Theon. It's really Pyat Pri. That
or
would be
he's wearing
such a
somebody's
twist.
Theon's face. Maybe Theon. No, I'm not going that far.
Yeah, so it's a little weird. I don't know. Theon. But they seem to be planning on having the dragons nearby, on call with pagers, so that as soon as the Night King shows up in the Godswood, they can swoop in and burn him.
I don't think this plan's going to work. What do you think?
There's no way that part of the plan works. And Bran even says himself, they don't know if Dragonfire can stop the Night King, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no. It's going to take Jon or Jorah or Arya or someone with Valyrian steel to take him down. Pretty sure that's the only way. We also found out that Tyrion will not be fighting. He's going into the crypts with the women and children.
Because he's a little wee one.
Because he's so smart.
Right.
Right. And that particular scene ends with Tyrion wanting Bran's story, which was supposed to take a long time, but apparently did not, because it was only a couple minutes later that Tyrion was done with that story and talking with Jaime again. But whatever. We had a quick scene with Grey Worm and Missandei. As soon as the war's over, they want to get the fuck out of Dodge. They'll serve the
with
queen.
Their people, it seems.
Yeah, that requires more explanation. They're going to go to Narth, I think it's called, where Missandei's from, and they're peaceful there. They have no weapons or armies. But Grey Worm will be there, and he said, we will protect you.
Maybe, Missandei's pregnant. Maybe she means the kid or maybe he means the kid and himself.
Anything's possible. But it sounded like he was probably taking some Unsullied with him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all serving voluntarily. And this, a lot of racists in Winterfell, man, giving these darker skinned people all these looks.
Well, I think they're just different. They don't trust anybody. They're very different from what they're used to seeing. That doesn't mean they're racist. They just don't understand.
Well, they're being pretty standoffish. Just saying.
I would too. You want the King of the North, and in comes this woman in white, and she thinks she's all that, and she's demanding that you guys bend the knee.
Yeah, but this is Missandei and Grey Worm. They're with her, but they're not making anyone bend any knees. I'm just saying.
Well,
not very nice.
They are her representatives.
Yeah. That's all true.
Okay.
I'm not arguing that. I just think they're being dicks. Sorry.
Well, yeah, they are being dicks.
Let's see. We had a quick scene, I think, again, on top of the wall as night was coming down. Sam and Jon and Ghost. You noticed him first.
Yes.
There it was. We were talking about it.
Isn't that funny?
I think we made some good predictions going into this. And I promise you, everybody,
so,
we did record before we watched. That's no joke. We don't mess around with that.
Clearly, Ghost is not raising a wolf army.
Yeah, okay, fine. That prediction was probably wrong. He's just chilling. He's just hanging out with Jon.
He looks bigger.
I wonder how he feels about Jon having a romantic entanglement. Probably likes Dany because of her white hair.
I don't know that dogs care.
Well, dragons do, apparently.
Well, that's
Drogon all.
That's about a blood thing.
All right. We find out that Sam's going to fight. That's about it.
And he gives his sword to Jorah.
They had a nice moment. Yes.
Jorah. Not Jar Jar.
Not Jar Jar. Misa no use Valyrian steel.
Very nice.
Thank you. Let's see. That leads us to Tyrion and Jaime. And I'm going to come back to that because there were many scenes around that fireplace. But it started with Tyrion and Jaime, and then a bunch of other people came in. Let's go over to Arya and the Hound.
Okay.
A second chance at a touching reunion.
Yep.
We almost got there this time.
Not really, though.
We came close, but we didn't quite get there. She wants to know why he's here. All right. They don't get to that point even because then Barrett comes in. Now, we did get one revelation, though. Which was, wasn't he on your list?
Mm-hmm.
And she said,
he was?
For a little while.
Oh, for a little while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So that she can change the list.
She's grown up. She's learned to maybe forgive a few things here and there.
Yeah.
Barrick obviously working for the greater good. Maybe we should, because I was thinking, we thought there was something in the preview that indicated Arya might be ready to kill someone this episode. And I thought that could be it. Barrick has outlived his usefulness. She just sees him there. What wasn't on your list? Yes. Stab. And just takes him out. That could have happened. I would have been.
I think she's mature enough now to realize people can change and some people aren't what they seemed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so proud of her. She's changed in so many ways. And we're coming up to the next one in a second. Actually, I guess that was it. Because then she leaves. They started talking and she was like, I'm out of here, you old farts or whatever she called them. She's
got better things to do.
Got better things to do. And that thing's name is Gendry. She got her spear. It looks impressive. She didn't show off what it can do yet. We saw in the last episode the spearheads are supposed to be detachable.
I have a feeling that she is going to spear an ice dragon with that.
I think you're right. I think she's the one that's going to take that dragon down.
Nice.
I don't know that she'll be the one to kill the Night King, though she probably could. I think that should be Jon.
I agree.
Or maybe Jorah if Jorah dies in the process. Or maybe Brienne if Brienne dies in the process. One of those could...
What about Sam?
No.
No.
I don't think Sam's going to be that
or
useful
Dany.
in this battle. No. Because Dragonfire's not going to work.
I think Dany's going to die. No.
Next
Either
episode?
Jon or Dany have to die now.
Next episode? Or just soon?
No, I mean... We didn't know for sure that one of them was going to die by the end of the seasons. I'm just saying one of them has to die now because either she is going to be pissed off and fight him, or what if one of them's dead, then that solves the problem.
All right. You really want to make that prediction. Let's finish this. We're almost there. So they fuck. There's a whole game of faces thing where she questions Gendry about his sexual status.
Right. How many people have you been with?
Right. Turns out the answer is 3. So there you go. And then she wants some loving. She takes off her clothes. We see what is probably Arya body double side boob and a lot of scars.
Right.
Yeah.
What are those scars from?
Well, it was like on her side, so I'm not sure. Because when she got really fucked up, she was stabbed in the stomach by Bitch Girl. So I don't know about the side. But
maybe Bitch Girl slashed her a few times.
She had a lot of intense training that we didn't see all the details of it. So
sure.
Yeah. But side boob, probably a body double, but still.
It's tiny.
For you Arya lovers, I love her like a daughter / super ninja. But those of you that feel otherwise, probably very excited by that scene. And then they fuck. Wow.
She made love. She doesn't do that.
You think? I mean, again, it's the night before the end of the world.
I'm not ready yet. This is like when your teenage daughter has sex. You're like, what? No, you're not old enough and that's not going to happen. It didn't happen.
Well, okay. They made sweet, sweet love. And then they snuggled the night away.
She stayed awake.
Well, yeah, except we saw that they didn't snuggle the night away.
Yeah.
But he was sleeping peacefully, so good for him.
I wonder how it was. I wonder.
For who? For her?
For her.
I feel like he'd be a giving lover.
I hope so.
I bet he waited for her.
I hope so. But maybe that's why she's lying awake. I know that's not true.
That's an unfortunate
she's
point.
She's anticipating the coming day.
Yeah. I don't think she needs sleep anymore. She's super ninja.
Maybe she's the faceless man.
She is a faceless man.
Maybe she's Jock and Hagar.
And Jock and Hagar wanted to fuck Gendry? You.
All right.
It helps sell. I'm not gay. It just helps sell the story. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's really Arya. There have been much speculation that Arya didn't win the fight when the candle went out on Bitch Girl after that whole Terminator 2 chase scene.
Oh, and that's Bitch Girl.
Yeah. There's rampant speculation about that around. I've never really believed it. I just don't.
Oh my God. It could be.
Because what would the point be? Why would...
Just to fuck with us.
Just... No, well... That's from a writing standpoint. What would the character's point be?
I don't know.
That's why I'm not buying it. I mean, there would have to be some kind of motivation to go back and torture the Starks. I just don't think that's
there's plenty of motivation, but who knows?
But all these feelings for Gendry, that wouldn't just come out of nowhere. So I think it's really her. Let's see. Jorah tries to get Lyanna Mormont to not fight. And she's like, fuck you, you stupid punk. Let's just say punk. Yeah. And then she wishes him well and goes off. Sam gives Heartsbane to Jorah. Mm-hmm. So now Jorah's got a badass sword. He could kill the Night King and die in the process. Or he'll die saving Dany from something.
I hope
we can rest assured of that, right? That's his lot in life. He will die for Daenerys. It's got to be.
Right.
All right. We've only got one scene left, and that's Dany and Jon talking. So let's do the fireplace scene. A whole lot of shit happened. Let's see. What would Tywin think of them fighting for Winterfell? And then Podrick and Brienne show up, and then Davos and Tormund shows up. And what's the first thing Tormund says?
I don't remember.
The world's going to end tonight. And he gives her all the sex eyes, like he does.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She didn't go for it, though. I'm disappointed.
I think she's still flattered.
I think he's wearing her down.
Uh-huh.
If they survive this, I think she's going to go for it. Maybe he's really good in bed.
I hope he's clean.
He looks cleaner now than he ever has before.
He's also been out in the wild. Just saying.
She wears metal armor everywhere she goes. That's going to make you stink anyway.
No, I mean, he's not stinky because he's been in the wild. He's been screwing some wild
but not for a while.
Animals.
I mean, he's relatively civilized now.
Didn't he have sex with a bear?
That was his whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then we just found out tonight how he got the name Tormund Giantsbane. So I'm glad we had that moment.
Right. For 8 years. He's 8?
3. Well, no, wait. He killed a giant when he was 10, then crawled into bed with the giant's wife.
And she suckled him.
And then she thought he was a baby.
Or breastfed him.
Breastfed him for 3 months.
3 years.
3 months. He said months.
I thought it was a long time.
I'm pretty sure it's just months. I thought he was going to claim that he fucked her. But instead,
I thought so too.
I mean, why not? You don't crawl into bed with someone's wife unless you want to,
Maybe that was his intention, yet it didn't turn out the way he thought.
So that's the secret of his strength is giant's milk.
All right.
Definitely the funniest scene in the episode. Later on, Tyrion goes on a thing where he thinks that they might all live. They might survive this awful battle.
They might.
And starts listing their accomplishments. And it was pointed out at some point there that Brienne is not a knight. She never wanted to be a knight anyway. Fuck you and your male patriarchy fucking bullshit. Did some feels happen next, babe? Did you get feels on this one?
A little bit, but I'm not
Tell us all about it. Tell us.
Oh my God.
Regale us with everything that happened in your heart.
Well, so Jaime is allowed to knight people, apparently. When you're a knight, you can knight others.
Knights can knight knights.
So he's knighting her. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, she was very happy. We already talked about this. She was very happy. What were the words he said?
Oh, it was 3 of the gods. The warrior will make you brave, and the father means you have to be just, and the mother means you have to
protect,
suckle a redhead,
protect the innocent.
Oh, protect the innocent, maybe. Yeah, that'd be.
I mean, yes, it was very touching because women aren't to be knighted, and Jaime did that for her, and that's probably as deep as their relationship will ever get.
And now that we're in the kingdom of Daenerys, I mean, everyone serves her. They call her Your Grace, right? Mm-hmm. If there was ever going to be a place where women could be knighted without getting in trouble, this is probably the time, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Dany'd be cool with it. She doesn't really know Brienne yet, but who better a candidate?
I don't know.
Right?
I'm telling you, she is going down a dark road. She's getting angry all the time now.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to this final montage. So Podrick sings an a cappella song around the fireplace. Does that remind you of anything?
Well,
no. Okay.
Hendry's.
What?
Ed Sheeran.
The first thing, what popped into my head, and it was the a cappella. It was in this large hearth hall, and it was.
Well, actually, I can tell you what it reminded me of The Hobbit or of The Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
that's exactly it. And mark my words, if you go maybe on YouTube and look up the scene where Pippin sings, the first like 3 notes of his song and Gendry's song are identical. I promise you. Like, it just instantly triggered my brain.
It triggered me too. Yeah. I was triggered.
You were triggered?
Yeah.
So he sings, it's all beautiful, and then we get a montage of everybody. We have people, Arya's wide awake, and Gendry's asleep, and other people are snuggling. Yeah. Sam and Gilly and little Sam, they're all snuggled up together. It's good to be...
Nothing.
Well, it's good to be part of like the main group, because you actually get this huge bed to just stretch out and have a wonderful night in, while like thousands of other people are somewhere inside Winterfell, just like huddling in the cold and like, with no beds at all, and just an empty bowl where Davos had fed them.
Aw.
It's good to be Sam, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So we see all this montage of stuff. And one of those I thought that hit me was Missandei does not get to snuggle up to Grey Worm that night, because he kisses her goodbye and then storms out of the gates with his troops, because they know bad's coming.
Right.
Right. And then we get the scene in the crypts. Here we go. Okay. There's not a whole lot to say that we, as longtime Game of Thrones fans, don't already know. Jon just outs everything, tells her the whole story.
Right before couldn't you have waited?
Yeah, just kiss her and just give her a last night on Earth fuck. Maybe you guys won't live to see the next day. She doesn't. Yeah, you know what? That's a very good point. Fuck you, Jon.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Happy Daenerys. Just put a smile on her face, man. The way you know how.
Figure out if they're going to even live.
Jon invented oral sex on women in this world.
Yeah.
He was the first one to ever come up with it.
That's right.
So he should do that for Dany. Just suck it up. Literally and figuratively. Just suck it up. Because the world might end tomorrow, you dumb fuck. You're right. He did the wrong thing.
Totally. I mean, why did he have to say that right then? It's going to cause turmoil. She's going to be thinking about it during the fight. She's going to be distracted.
Yeah, she should be thinking about burning fucking zombies, but instead she'll be thinking about burning zombies and losing all of her everything.
Right. Or killing that person, and then she loses nothing.
Mm-hmm. So they have this talk, and then the horns sound, just as she's getting mad about how this can't possibly be true. And it's like, I think those are the last words she said, was like, because then you would be the male heir in line for the throne, and then it's right. And the horns. So that's pretty much it. So let's go to that prediction then. We have a battle coming up. What's going to happen between Dany and Jon?
You know what? I think that Dany is going to turn. I don't know about in this next show, but I think Dany's going to turn evil, and somebody, maybe Arya, is going to have to shoot her down, or Jon.
Verbally?
Jon might have to kill her.
Like no, Arya delivers her note saying, like, Jon can't see you anymore. Oh, okay. Yeah. Not that kind of shooting.
No, or Jon might have to kill her because she's out of control. Like, he'll get on the other dragon, and he'll try to chase her because she's killing everybody. The wrong people, and then he'll have to kill her.
All right, let's say you're right.
Okay.
What I think would then be really interesting from a storytelling perspective would be if the one to take her down was Jaime fucking Lannister.
Okay. Why?
Because he was already the Kingslayer. He had to take down the king when he was going to burn him.
But it's more emotional if Jon does it. Or Arya, but Jon.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Dany could go down to the dark side. She really could. But at least after... Okay, so let's assume for the moment Jon and Daenerys both survive the battle next week. What do you think? Is that going to happen?
Yes.
I think they will. I think they'll both survive.
Yeah, it's way too soon for anybody to die, although there really are only
we're going to lose some people.
4 more episodes.
Right, yeah. We're going to lose some big players. I'm just not sure who. We might even lose the Night King. It's totally possible that the last 4 episodes are all Danny and John or whoever versus the Golden Company. It's possible.
No.
But I think they're going to get through this battle. And it's going to be very similar to what happened last season, which was, she lost her son. She lost, was it Viserion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's freaking out about that. But also now that she saw the truth and she saw John nobly fighting in the end and yada, 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 she fell for him and she was willing to fight for him without him kneeling. I think the same thing's going to happen again. I think they're going to get through this battle and then she's going to say, it doesn't matter. We'll figure this out. We'll rule together or something. But I love you and you're going back in me. And that's all it's going to be till the end of time. Mm-mm. And he's going to agree because their love will have been strengthened by getting through this incredibly intense situation.
No. You are so not right. That is not going to happen. I can see it in my mind's eye. What's good. Like John and Danny are going to have to, one of them's going to have to sacrifice.
They're going to fight it out.
Fight it out or one will die. So maybe they'll both die. I think a long time ago said they were both going to die and Sansa was going to be on the throne.
Yeah, she's your pick for the throne.
Although she really doesn't have any claim to it whatsoever. Maybe it'll be Gendry and Arya.
Which I'd be fine with. I mean, Gendry has a semi-legitimate claim. Not perfect, but it's up there. Anyone could claim the throne. When Jaime killed... So I think... Again, correct me if I'm wrong, especially Lore Master Kevin or anyone listening, if you know the truth about this. But I think Daenerys got it wrong at the beginning of this episode. She said Jaime cut down her dad, and then sat on the throne and waited for, whatever, for anyone else to arrive and all of that. But I'm pretty sure Jaime did not sit down on the throne because he asked Ned, or either he asked or Cersei asked sometime in season 1, asked Ned why... When Ned was the first person into the room after the king was cut down, why didn't Ned just sit down on the throne and take it for himself? Because whoever sat there after this battle would be king. But instead, Ned chose to wait for Robert since it was Robert's whole gig to begin with. So anyone, if Cersei's dead, this is where I'm going with this. If Cersei's dead, anybody that gets into the Red Keep and sits down on that chair has a claim. It could be a bastard like Gendry. It could be Arya. It could be Sansa. It could be anybody. But if Cersei's gone and she's the one currently in power, it seems like whoever sits down on that chair next is the legitimate king or queen.
So I could just go sit on the throne.
Fuck yeah. Wait, what happens to me then?
Well, you can come if you want.
Can I?
Sure.
Where do I sit?
Right here. Like...
Right.
On a pillow next to me on the ground. Just for a little while.
I mean, I was hoping for, when you said pillow, I was hoping it would be a pillow on a chair so I'd be comfortable sitting next to you. That was my dream at that point. Just give me a chair, man.
All right, let's
Can I work my way up to chair? Maybe I'll achieve chair status someday.
Maybe.
Let's move on. Well, babe, Jesus, it's been an hour since we watched, not to mention our intro. So I think we've talked enough for now. Hopefully I can get Lore Master Kevin on the phone this week and we can all catch up together because I'm sure he has a lot to say and will probably tell us that we're wrong about a lot of shit. We'll see.
We'll see.
But,
oh my God.
Next week's episode is going to be really ugly.
It's so emotional.
Yeah. Let's try to if we do the midweek episode, like Wednesday or Thursday, let's try to come into it with some predictions on who's going to fall.
Okay.
Let's not do it now. Let's take some time to really mull it over.
I have some other theories too going on in my head. So.
About the battle, besides just who's going to die?
Yes.
All right. Cool. I look forward to that.
Okay.
All right. So take notes, write them down. Don't forget them. And we're going to do that sometime in the middle of this week. Okay.
All right. I'll take notes.
Okay. So, hey, anything you've got, hit us up. It was great hearing from some of you this week. I want more of that. So reach out anytime. You can hit me up at jeff@podofthrones.com or at Pod of Thrones on Twitter.
Or Jennifer at podofthrones.com or at Kid-Free Weekend on Twitter.
That's right.
I got it. And we're going to go make our predictions, and then we'll come back and talk to them about them afterwards.
How do you know there is an afterwards?